Hello and welcome to this unboxing and brief review of two low-cost microphones from MCOPlus. One is designed for compact camcorders and phones, and the other to plug directly into phones. This assumes the phone has an appropriate socket, of course, which some don't these days. Starting with the camcorder mic first, and what do you get in the box? An instruction and specification leaflet which promises to take your recording to broadcast level. There's a small furry windjammer. Unfortunately, this is fairly useless, as you'll hear in my tests. Once I manage to open it, you get cables for both TRRS and TRRS connections, in other words, camcorders and phones. And there's the pouch with the microphone itself. It has a foam pop shield on it, and you can see the microphone has a very familiar look to it if you've seen this kind of thing before. There are many variants of it about. But here's the pièce de résistance, the thing that made me say yes to reviewing this, and it's the plastic shock mount. Not so much for its isolation abilities, but because it's been designed so that you can turn the microphone around from front to back without having to unscrew it. As a vlogger, it is one of life's perpetual annoyances that no one's yet selling a dual shotgun mic with one facing forward to pick up what you're filming and one facing backwards to pick up your commentary. This partially addresses the issue by enabling you to easily switch it around as the need arises, as I shall now demonstrate on this camcorder. Since you can also point it to the side, it can help if you're doing, for example, a sit-down interview where you're recording the guests separately, but you do still want to capture your questions in decent quality. One issue I did have is that the cold shoe mount is a fraction too big, as it would only just slide into the camcorder mount with a fair bit of friction, and I couldn't get it into the cold shoe on my DJI Osmo at all. It just wouldn't fit, no matter which way round I tried it. It might work if I take a file to the plastic very gently, perhaps. These compact, cardioid, almost mini shotgun type microphones are following a well-trodden path, the flag bearer of course being the popular Rode VideoMicro. Let's hear how they compare. This is a test of the MCOPlus MCO VM-D02 universal cardioid microphone. It's plugged into a Sony AX53 camcorder and the microphone has its windjammer on it. There is a very slight breeze blowing as I'm talking. And this, for comparison, is a Rode VideoMicro with its own windjammer on it, plugged into the same camcorder, recorded round about the same time in the same location at the same distance to the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And for interest, recorded a few minutes later after listening to those previous tests, so the conditions not exactly the same. This is the MCOPlus microphone using the Rode windjammer, because clearly the one supplied with the MCO wasn't up to the job of this intermittent breeze, which is blowing as I'm talking now and then keeps disappearing and coming back. Anyway, this is the MCOPlus with the Rode windjammer to see if the MCOPlus sounds better with a decent windjammer on it. That said, the Rode windjammer isn't that great either. This is an interior test of the MCOPlus VM-D02 microphone. It does not have the fluffy windjammer on it, but it does have the foam windshield. The recording environment is far from perfect, but it's not too echoey, and I will now do a comparison with the Rode VideoMicro. This is a comparative test of the Rode VideoMicro plugged into the same camcorder, same environment, same distance, all that kind of thing. I have taken the foam cover from the MCOPlus microphone and put that onto the Rode VideoMicro because either the Rode doesn't come with one or I've lost it. Anyway, I thought for making them equivalent I should put a foam cover on both of them. Anyway, so that's what the Rode sounds like. The second microphone is, as far as I can tell, essentially the same mic, but designed so as to plug straight into the side of a phone, as long as it has a 3.5mm combined mic and headphone jack. You get the same instruction leaflet, windjammer, and the mic itself, which, as you can see, has the TRRS connection sticking out of the bottom. A nice touch is the J-shaped plastic brace, which presumably is there to stop you from snapping the mic off the phone by accident, as it gives a bit of back force against any pressure. I only have a tired old iPhone SE, but here's what the mic sounds like on that. This is a test recording on my iPhone SE, original iPhone SE, not the new one, using its built-in microphone, and it's the microphone on the back of the camera. I can't actually see the screen, my selfie camera doesn't work, so I'm kind of guessing that I'm pointing the camera in the right direction for this. And I'm holding the phone on a selfie stick. It's out by about somewhere between half a metre and a metre, I suppose, probably about 80 centimetres or so, I'm guessing. And as I say, this is using the phone's own microphone. What I'll do now is plug in the MCOPlus mic and we'll see if that sounds any different. And once again, this is a test of the iPhone SE, the old iPhone SE, which does have a headphone jack, and that means I can plug in the MCOPlus microphone directly into that jack with its TRRS connector. So the microphone is just there on my left hand side. To you it would be the right hand side, holding it in the selfie stick as before and just talking away. Still got the fridge going in the background making a little bit of a noise, otherwise quite quiet, not bad acoustics. And once again, this is a test of the iPhone SE, the old iPhone SE, which does have a headphone jack, and that means I can plug in the MCOPlus microphone directly into that jack with its TRRS connector. So the microphone is just there on my left hand side. To you it would be the right hand side, holding it in the selfie stick as before and just talking away. Still got the fridge going in the background making a little bit of a noise, otherwise quite quiet, not bad acoustics. Here for reference are the supplied frequency response, polar pickup and specifications for the mics. In conclusion then, well, this is a very low-cost microphone. You cannot seriously expect broadcast quality from it, no matter what their little leaflet says. It certainly does perform its cardioid function, in other words, picking up sound more from what's in front of it than what's around it. Particularly noticeable, I thought, on the iPhone test, where although the iPhone microphone sounded bassier, it distinctly was picking up more of the room noise atmospheric, and using the MCOPlus brought me closer to the camera in the audio sense. Definitely it's a bit tinny, I would say. The iPhone mic and the Rode mic sounded more bassier, but then actually I've always thought the Rode VideoMicro is a little bit too far the other way, a little bit soupy, a little bit muffled. I always want a bit more high frequency in the Rode, and the MCOPlus goes the other way. But I also thought it was possible, with a very quick and dirty bit of EQing it, to kind of bring a bit of that bass up and make it sound reasonable. Again, remember the price point we're talking about here. The disappointment actually is the windjammer. This looks like it ought to do the job, but honestly it was a very light breeze outside and it was cutting straight through this and effectively ruining the recording. So if you get one of these, you're going to need a better windjammer. What I do like is this little shock mount, not so much for its shock mounting abilities, but the simple fact they've designed it to be rotatable, and it's on these little indents, so you can just turn it round to a position and know it's going to stay there without having to unscrew the microphone or anything. And as a vlogger, sometimes I'm wanting to pick up sound from in front, sometimes I just want to turn this round and do a bit of commentary to cam as I go. And maybe I haven't been looking hard enough, but this is the first one of these I've seen, and that is going to be quite useful for my purposes. So if for no other reason, it could be worth picking up one of these mics just to have this rotatable shock mount. That'll do for this one. Cheerio.